Hi, I'm Olimpia Fernandez from Robi Rose Cosmetics, and you're watching Two Mics Up.
Double O 07.
What's up, everybody? It's your man Dame DNYDC. It's two mics up. You know what we do on Monday night. You know how we get down. But tonight is a special conversation for me. I'm doing this for myself, okay? Because some every now and then, you should, and I could. I have a very special guest who's a childhood friend who haven't seen, jeez, long time. But like when I say childhood friend, I mean literally childhood. We was flipping burgers at McDonald's in Freeport, New York. Shout out to Freeport, you know what I mean? And everybody back home on the island. But the bigger and the better part of today's conversation with the guest that's joining me on the other mic, she has really blossomed and grown into a fantastic mother, a CEO who's doing big things in her own lane. She's a certified professional life coach. I mean, all of these things are really important in today's world, where we're being bombarded with so many different things. And like I said, for me, it's just special to me, and it fills my heart with joy to have her join me and us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, take a moment to welcome Olimpia Fernandez, who's joining us today on Two Mics Up. Oh, what's happening? How you doing, sis?
What's up, Damon? How you doing? How
Look,
are you doing? Happy spring.
all that. Look, I'm good. Like I said, we were talking behind, and I'm super excited. My heart is filled with joy.
Mm,
One, to be able to see you. It's been so long, and
Yeah,
really just to be able to catch up and really share
yeah,
uh
yeah,
all of your amazing talents with our audience. So, like most stories, Olympia, I really have to start at the
yeah,
very beginning,
yep,
right?
yep.
So, who is Olympia Fernandez? Give us some of your background as to who you are,
Okay.
where you from, and fill in what other all that other jazz that you want to add in at the beginning.
Right, right. Well, thank you again. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. The way you had your intro about us being childhood friends, it's coming full circle, and I think that's the best thing about life is it comes full circle. God brings these people back into your life for a
Mhm.
reason. So it is absolutely really wonderful to be here with you. You shouted out McDonald's and Freeport, so you're telling our age here, but I'm gonna let you get away with that a little bit because I told you my birthday was and I turned 21.
Hey,
I told you
hey, forever 21, right?
forever 21. But you know what? Any year you can celebrate around the sun is a blessing. I tell you
That's
that.
right. That's
That's for
right.
sure. That's for
That's for
sure.
sure.
But like I said, I'm born and raised in Freeport, right? Freeport, proud Freeport, born and raised, grew up in Freeport, went to all the schools in Freeport. I'm a Long Island girl at heart, a New Yorker at heart. I did spend half of my life, many years in Los Angeles as well. So I like to consider myself a LA girl too. So a lot of my New Yorkers don't really like when I say that. They're like, don't even try it. Don't even try it. You're from New York.
Wait,
But
that's it.
that's it. But I love my LA as well. But I'm a New Yorker at heart for sure. I have an entertainment background. I'm a
Mhm.
creative person. I am a visionary. My life has taken a lot of different paths in life. And I think it was because I didn't fully settle in who God made me,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
sometimes you don't fully settle in that because of fear,
True.
imposter syndrome,
True.
taking the safe route. There's a lot of reasons why, but life has definitely taught me to be true to yourself. If it's taught me
Okay.
anything, it's taught me to be true to yourself.
Mm.
And I'm super proud to be able to fully, finally walk in that truth. Right. And
Right.
living unapologetically me. But
Mm.
I am an actress. I am a life coach. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a visionary. And my biggest accomplishment is being a mom. I'm a proud mom. I absolutely, like all parents, I love my child more than I love myself and life itself. There's nothing I would not do for that kid. He makes me proud every single day. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, look, there's nothing more. And we talk, before coming,
Yeah.
on air. There's nothing more special, than our children.
Yeah.
And I really believe that because when I look at my, those are the best parts of me,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife, and to watch them fulfill, things and achieve things. I think it really, as a parent, you want them to do better, and
Yep.
and to be better than you are, and to see it actually have the opportunity to see it is really amazing. And I think when I say proud, that's what I feel the most
Right.
proudest about. With
Yes.
thumping my chest all the time, but I hear you loud and clear. And you also talked about just your journey,
Yeah.
or and really finding the authentic Olympia in that journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did that journey really start? Because you, like you said, actress, professional life coach,
Mm-hmm.
CEO. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how did that journey start? And along that journey, what pieces did you really find out about yourself that you did not know? 'Cause I think that's really key.
Mm-hmm.
Identifying, those pieces as you went along that journey.
Right. Well, I think the one thing that I learned about myself along this journey is I'm a lot braver than I think that I
Mm,
am.
okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Life tends to throw a lot of curveballs at you. Life knocks us down, right?
Right.
And I always got back up, right?
Mhm.
I always got back up better to this day. But I really believe that I also did not believe in my own strength, and I did not know how powerful I was and how brave I was.
Mhm.
And during this journey, it really taught me how brave I actually really am, you
Mm.
know? And if I may, it taught me like how dope I am, right?
Okay,
And
keep it real. Keep it
yeah,
real.
and yeah, because, and I mean that very in a humble tone,
Mhm.
right? But it goes back to what I said before, in living sometimes in imposter syndrome, living in not believing in your true calling. So
Mhm.
because you don't believe in that true calling, you take the safe route, right?
Right.
That was a lot of my life, and that's why, there was a day I feel like God just tapped me on my shoulder and just said, you dope,
Yeah.
walk in it.
Right.
Don't let nobody stop you.
Right.
You're here for a reason. You're not here to just exist. You're
Right.
here for a reason. I have a plan for your life. So let's get to it. Right.
Mm. Mm.
So when I say that in a very humble tone,
Yeah.
but it's big for me because I finally, got to a place in life where, hey, you know what? I believe in myself the way others believe in me.
That's right.
I had a really good, well, I have a really good friend, and he would say to me all the time, you don't see yourself the way other people see you, you know,
That's real.
and he was spot on about that.
Mhm.
So
That's real.
spot on, and I had to really take a deep dive into who I am, what I want to do, what is my purpose, and then really walk in it because we only here once. This is not a dress rehearsal. It's not a dress rehearsal.
Let me tell you, when I hear you say that, so this is God's honest truth. Because it really is hard for
Mhm,
us to walk in our own light and our own purpose,
mhm,
right? Because
mhm.
sometimes we live in a society where if you do that, then there's something wrong with you. I'm just gonna call it what it is, or you think you're better than.
That part.
And it took me to realize. So 10 years
Mhm,
ago, and for those people who watch or follow, they may or may not, and you may not. 10 years
right.
ago, I should have lost my life. I was laying in the hospital. I was rushed to the emergency room. I had lost
Yeah.
60 pounds in less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Basically, long story short, I was walking with pneumonia. My left lung was basically 99% full.
Wow.
Doctors called me that morning. They rushed me. I went to go get x-rays that Monday morning. The specialist sent me.
Mhm.
Literally, it took me 20 minutes to come back from the hospital. They called and said, hey, we need you back ASAP. They
Wow.
rushed me in. And all I remember the doctor saying is, hey, we're going to pray that we don't have to scrape your lung. And I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? But at this time, though, I'm starting to cough. And you could smell death now. It was to the point where death was coming out of my body in this milky white substance. I was coughing this up. And
Wow.
as they roll me in, and he's looking at me like, you ready? And I'm like, well, I really have no choice at this point.
Yeah.
He goes, he cuts my chest open, and I'm coughing, and you can this, there's mucus and it's flying all over the place. They hit a button. All of these doctors come in. They're trying to clean it up, and he's trying to find the biggest tube. He didn't. The tubes that they had in the room were not big enough. They went and found the biggest tube that they can find. They put it in my chest. I'm in the hospital. About 5 days go by, and I mean, I had CDC doctors. I had every type of specialists that I've never heard of
Right.
in my life before, and they're going around the clock. After the 5th day, I'm sitting there, and the doctor comes in, and my wife and my daughter are sitting there, and he says to my wife, he says, look, we don't know what else to do because everything that we're doing is not working.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a prayerful family, please pray for your husband because we're kind of at a standstill.
Right.
Now, I remember sitting there in the bed, and I said to God, I said, God, I know you know what's in my heart, and I know you have something better in store for me.
Mm-hmm.
This can't be, it.
Right. Right.
2 days later, medicines and things that were starting to kick in. My liver and everything was shutting down. My kidney was so things, my functions.
Gosh.
I was on my deathbed, literally. I was skin and
Mm.
bones, skin and bones. Fast forward to say all of that. So I come out of the hospital. It's about 10 days later. I come out. And to this day, I still smell grass as fresh as the dew on the grass every morning. I see the bluest and blue in the skies. When I see people, I see
Mm-hmm.
people in color now.
Right.
You just said it on head. You only got one life to live. There's not many of us that get 2 times.
Right.
But here I am, and I'm saying that because what he gave me,
Right.
I was doing. I had started another company. I was working with young men and women,
Mm-hmm.
helping them identify how to turn their jobs into careers. Because
Right.
that's what I did. As a
Okay.
director, I did a lot of different. But I was like, I'm like, Lord, this is not it.
Right.
Then we ran into the Breonna Taylor, George Floyd segment of our community. Some friends of mine, we would get together every Friday night for 4 or 5 months, and we would talk about what could we do to better our community. How could
Right.
we?
Right.
My wife is sitting. She says, why don't you start a podcast? You be the
Mhm.
voice of what you guys are talking about.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
here we are, 4 years
Here
later.
we are. Right.
Here we are, right? And this show is growing fast. And my wife says it to me all the time. She said, just be ready because things are going to happen faster. And she was 100% right.
Yeah.
And I say that, though, it's still somewhat uncomfortable for me to be in this, to remain. I'm very humble,
Yes.
but to realize I am helping touch people.
Right.
I am
Right.
helping change people's lives, whether it's one person at a time.
Right.
And it's like what you said, though. The thing originally was because I got it. Oh, and you know it from back home. This man, he think he better than this. Oh, he done changed up. But you have to change and grow,
You have
right?
to. Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what inspired me. Like even you as your journey as a certified professional life coach.
Yeah.
Like how was that for you, Olympia, stepping into that realm?
Mm-hmm.
And like we're saying, to help people, to
Mm-hmm.
really because there's a level of vulnerability too for you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So could you talk about that
Yes.
from your perspective and helping others get through their vulnerable situations?
Yes. And that's exactly what it is. It's about helping others first and foremost, right? And the one thing that I truly, truly enjoy about life coaching is when you're helping others and you're taking a deep dive into their life, believe it or not, most of the time you're always going to find something that you can relate to. So while you're helping others get to that next stage in their life, you're also getting to another stage, even sometimes if you don't even know it. Right. So you have to allow yourself to be open to grow as well. And that's what I love about the process of coaching, because it's that dialogue. It's that asking those probing questions. I'm an ICF certified life coach. So there's a certain way that we have to, from a certification standpoint, that we have to coach our clients. And it's about asking those probing questions, right? It's about self-discovery. And for me, I don't want to tell you, right? This is why I chose the ICF method, because I don't want to tell you what you should do, where you should go, how to fix you, right? That's not my role.
Right.
Right. That's not my role. But my role is to ask you to probing questions so you can self-discover for yourself, because this is your journey, right? This is your purpose. This is your connection to the Lord, to your higher being, or whatever that is for you, right? So
Right.
I'm here to ask those right questions so you can self-discover for yourself, because how more empowering is it when you self-discover for yourself instead of me telling you, right?
Yes.
So during that process, I'm also growing. It gives me things to think about. It gives me things that I might not have
Point.
thought about until I had that conversation with that person. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a great session. I can't wait
That's a
tonight to
real
write in a
point.
journal because I learned something about myself during this conversation.
Wow.
So what is so awesome with me with the coaching is not only helping people and empowering them to be better and to find their purpose in life, but there is not a time that I don't walk away and I find something that I can apply to myself as well.
That's really interesting. I never really thought of that, right?
Mhm.
Because even when you put that thought in now, so what's the flip side then? Because even as a life coach, so you're asking the probing questions and you're trying, because definitely it feels better when I find out myself, right? Versus you feeding
Right,
me, right?
right, right, right,
But the flip side too, though, is who's pouring then into Olympia, because that's a
right.
lot of cup
Yeah,
to take on for everybody
yeah,
else. So who can you pour into, or who do you have, or what support system do you use to help fill up your cup or pour out of your cup sometimes when it gets
yeah,
too heavy?
right. First and foremost, the Lord.
Mm, mm,
Okay.
mm,
I have a beautiful relationship with God and I lean solely on the Lord. So definitely God. My family, I'm able to check out and be with my son and have fun, and my mom and my sisters. And I have an amazing support system in my girls.
I love that.
I surround myself around like-minded women. They say be evenly yoked with your partner, but you also have to be evenly yoked with your friends. So I make sure that I surround myself around amazing women that's going to uplift me, that's going to encourage me, that's going to help me put my light back on when I'm dimming it myself, because we all have a bad day. And the day where, as I said, I like immediate satisfaction. So when something's not happening fast enough, right, they're pouring in my cup like, come on, girl, let's do it.
Right.
I have an amazing best friend who's out in Los Angeles, and we pour into each other every single
Yeah.
day, right?
Right.
So outside of the Lord, first and foremost, is the people around me,
Mm,
and then just really making sure, Dame, that like I'm reading the right materials,
yeah.
I'm watching the right TV,
Yeah.
right? I'm reading the right books, because you're going to get out what you put in,
Right.
right?
Couldn't have
So
said it better. Even better.
I make sure I'm putting in that good energy. And if it's bad energy, I don't want no parts of it. Right. I
Yeah.
just don't want any parts of it. So that's how I fill my cup. That's really honestly how I fill my cup. And sometimes some mindless TV like The Bachelor.
Look,
So,
you gotta
mindless.
have that.
Yeah, I gotta have that sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta veg, sometimes you gotta veg out and space out into nothing because it's needed, it's
Yeah,
required in
exactly.
today's world.
Some
And
cheesy franchise like The
yeah,
Bachelor has
listen,
me hooked with my
what
popcorn.
whatever it is that moves you, it's okay.
Yep,
Look, yeah,
yep,
it doesn't matter. And I totally agree with that. And
yep.
you know, I have to ask because your like I said, your trajectory of things is powerful. It's impressive.
Thank you.
And just to know, like from that piece, right, from the life coaching piece,
Hmm.
how do you use that then to go in and when you put on your CEO hat
Hmm.
of Robbie Rose Cosmetics? Because then that's a whole nother flip.
Yes. Yes.
But how do you use that, and what parallels do you see
Yeah.
between coaching and entrepreneurship?
Hmm. Well, with my coaching and entrepreneurship, again, it goes back to helping others,
Right.
right? And empowering others. And one may say, well, how are you helping others, with a cosmetic line?
Hmm.
When I decided that I wanted to have my own cosmetic line, which was actually many, many years ago. I was a makeup artist in Los Angeles, right? When I was, out there acting and auditioning and everything, and being a makeup artist, also was also a part-time stylist. It helped me from not having to wait tables all the time. So it kept me in the industry, kept me backstage meeting people and things of that nature. So back then I always had the dream of it. Moved to New York, moved back to New York, landed an amazing position at a Fortune 500 makeup company, cosmetic company, where I learned the business side of it. And that's when it really sparked in me that one day I was going to open up a direct to consumer makeup line. But for me, the way I am, Dane, because I'm all about helping people and giving back and what is my purpose and why am I here, I just don't do things to do things, right?
Mm,
So for me, I had to say, okay, well, if I do this cosmetic line, it has to be more than makeup.
right.
I don't just
Right.
do make makeup. I mean, you got 150 million makeup line. What is gonna
Set
what's
you apart.
different?
Right.
Yeah. What's different? What is different? And how can I make a difference in life? Because
Mm,
again, I'm constantly tapping into why am I here? What is my purpose?
mhm,
What can I leave behind? What is my legacy? So with that came in, I had to be a give back program. Right. I had
okay.
to be a give back company. So you purchase cosmetics, I have to give back in some way, shape, or form. I love children. I love being a mother. I used to own my own New York State licensed daycare center. So it just became a perfect way to just put them two together and give back to children. And what really, really came to me was I know as a mom, especially as a single mom, you go through this parenthood, single mom or not, or married couple or whatever, we all know how much we sacrifice
Mm,
and not do things or purchase things or go on trips or any of that because where does it all go? The kids, the
yes.
kids,
Yeah.
the kids,
Yeah.
right? Everything, they need something. They always need something, right? And if they
Yeah.
don't need it, we just want to give, right? How
Yeah.
many times have I bought my son a toy in Target? He didn't need another toy. He wanted it and he asked for it, he got it, right?
Right.
So there was always a sacrifice. And believe it or not, there were plenty of times, and still, but there were plenty of times I didn't buy a pair of shoes because I was like, I really can't drop this $80. My son
Right.
needs
Right.
it, right?
Right.
Do I really need another lipstick? I got plenty. My son needs that, right? And for me, I said to myself, how many times do we do that as women, right? And we say to ourselves, we can't purchase this
Yeah.
because we have to purchase for our children.
Yeah.
So for me, it just bridged the gap and said, you know what? I want to empower women because we have to pour into ourselves for self-care. And sometimes just a lipstick is self-care. Just
Mm,
buying a
true.
lipstick is self-care, right?
True.
Because you're doing something for yourself. You slap on a piece of a color on your lips and you just feel amazing,
Yeah.
right? You
Right.
have nothing else. So you have on sweats. You put on some lipstick, put on some lip gloss, and all of a sudden you're ready, right? So you're empowering yourself that way, but taking away the guilt because
Yeah.
every portion, a piece of that portion goes to children somewhere. So you may not be pouring into your child directly, but you are empowering a child somewhere. So again, it had to make sense. And
Mm,
that's how, from a coaching standpoint, how it all kind of comes and bridges together by empowering women, helping women, but there being a purpose, right? So
I
go buy
love
that
that.
lipstick and not feel guilty because you're given to a child somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So again, it had to have a purpose and it had to be about giving back, not just about, it had to be a mission. And
I love
Robbie
that.
is a mission. Yeah.
And I love that. And look, I'm gonna step out and I'm gonna say play devil's advocate, but I gotta ask because fellas,
Yeah.
we gotta get our ish together here, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready.
well, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna keep it real because I'm a girl dad.
Yes.
What can whether it be a father, a brother, or uncle, uh, how can we help get behind, you, Robbie Rose Cosmetic? Like, how can we also play a role in supporting? Because I think that's key. Like, I don't want to just segment this for our
Yes.
women,
Yes.
because I
Of
mean,
course.
this is what it's about. But I do believe that men, we have to do more.
Yes.
We need to get involved more. So while I have you and the floor and opportunity, how
Yes.
can we get behind and what can we do to support?
Yes. Well, there's a couple of things there, right? So first, I am coming out with a couple of balms. That's not, it's
Okay.
just a plain balm. So they're for men and women. Women can just throw them in their gym bag, but they're
Right.
for men. They could throw it in their car. I have my sample right now from my manufacturer, and my son has taken it from me because he's loving it. He's like, when are you going to come out with this? It's like a chapstick, right? And then I am moving over to skincare. So they will be actually, some of them will be fragrance free. So there will also be, there's some things that men can wear. But to take it a step further, one thing about my mission also, Dame, is not only to give back from a monetary standpoint, but also for myself as a physical standpoint and being boots on the ground, right? And there will be times in this journey of Robbie Rose, and I'm looking forward to these opportunities where if we're giving back to the community, I have some things I'm cooking in my head that I actually want to give back into the the Freeport Schools District,
Okay.
where I'm going to be. Yeah, it's where it started, right? I have to. So
Yeah.
I'm cooking up some things in my head on what that's going to look like. But yeah, there'll be times where we may be out and we may be giving to children's, soup kitchens, or, giving out toys or things of that nature. And I'm very, very big on boots on the ground. And I will be there giving out these things. And that's when the men can come and help, because I don't want to just mail a check. Right. I want to be able to be there, roll up our sleeves and be there. I have this big dream of going over to Africa and helping out some orphans when Robbie Rose gets to that place. Right. That's what I'm striving for. That we're over there, and we have a mission to fill over there too. So as you can see, I'm dreaming really big for Robbie Rose, but I believe that God has a big purpose on my life and for this brand. And I'm hoping to touch many, many people through just lipstick.
Listen,
yeah.
I'm a firm believer. It's got to go from your mouth to God's ear.
Yeah.
For it to happen. You got to put it in the universe. That energy has to be out in the universe.
Yep.
And you keep pushing, sis. It will happen. And I'm just honored to be able to share this moment, with others to help this happen. Because you're doing amazing work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means everything. I really do. Thank you. You're finally in a place where, they say, love what you do. Yeah. Do something that makes you want to get out of the bed in the morning, and I have been blessed to hold a lot of great, amazing positions, great companies, but I never really wanted to jump out of the bed and start my day the way I do now, and that's because I'm living my purpose. I'm living my purpose, and it's nothing like that. And I tell my son that every single day. He's in 9th grade, and he's already talking about college, even though he's in the 9th grade. And if there's one thing I could tell him, I said, please, whatever it is, do what you love. You have to really think really long and hard about what that is you want to do, and do it, and don't stop and don't quit, because there's nothing like going to do something that you love every day and then just going to a job. Right?
Big difference.
Big difference. And it goes back to what we talked about earlier too. You want your kids to have the things have the things, but that's material, right? But
the tools and the success to be able to be successful and be happy in what they do.
Correct.
Right? To be able to choose that.
Yes.
Whereas maybe for us, it was kind of like your options were limited.
Yes, it was.
You know what I'm saying?
We learned them. I feel like I also made some of the mistakes for him.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's
now,
very true. Very true. As a parent.
Yes.
I agree with you on that, because there's no playbook to this, right?
There isn't.
And you kind of do the best that you can, but like you said, maybe after some time you realize, you know what, maybe this wasn't the best decision.
Right. And for me, I was acting back in high school, Dame. And to your point, you had those things that was like, who you think you are?
Right.
And if I didn't let that stuff stop me,
right,
Lord knows where I could have been, right? And just letting things stop me, or people, or being insecure because of what they're going to say. Well, right? Those are the things I'm trying to instill in my son. Like, no.
That's
you march to the beat of your own drum from day one. Right? Agreed. From there, because your path and your purpose and your journey is not theirs. And guess what? It's not theirs to understand.
That's right.
It's not theirs for the and I got that late. I got that late, but I got it.
Right.
I got it late, but again, God has a reason for doing things. So I got it when he wanted me to get it, because everything along this was a journey to get me ready for right now.
Girl, listen. Oh, listen, Olimpia, you preaching to the choir. And look, because right now, like all of this here, like we talking about, is for me is like the understanding of your worth, your self-empowerment, and all of these things. And as a coach who specializes in self-awareness now and self-esteem, like somebody's watching this or listening to this, like what is there a strategy or a tip or something that you can just share or recommend for, let's say, a professional looking to overcome the mental barriers? Because really, I think in the world we're in today, a lot of it is mental. We talked about it, the news and just the bombardment of all the that you can kind of share to maybe help someone kind of shift from that and still be able to focus on achieving greater success
Right.
within what they're doing.
Right. Well, the key thing is mindset,
Hmm.
right? It's, it's
Hmm.
it's all about what you tell yourself, right? So you have to listen to what you're telling yourself. Are you being kind to yourself, right? So it is all about the mindset and what you're believing. And if I could tell anybody, it would absolutely be that.
Mm,
Believe in yourself first and foremost, right? You have to believe in yourself. You have to trust. Patience is everything, and freedom. And
mm,
when I say freedom, I mean allow yourself the freedom to be who you are meant to be,
mm.
right? And to
Wow.
follow that path and listen to your inner self. And that is huge, because that inner voice is so real, right? It's so real. So if I could say anything, I would also say journal, right? Because you would be surprised on what you learn about yourself when you journal,
True.
right? Because sometimes you just keep going and going and going and writing, and you're like, wow, 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 wow. And it gives you a chance to look at yourself, and you wake up the next day and you say, okay, I'm gonna work on this,
Mm,
right? So it's just being honest with yourself, changing your mindset, believing that you can do it, right? That is so key. And that's what I tell some of my clients. It starts with, what are you telling yourself? Are you being kind to yourself? I'm the person that has sticky notes in my bathroom mirror,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
empowerment, whatever those words are, is you
Yeah.
have to pour into yourself. And
Yeah.
for me, that is key. And that is the biggest thing, is believing in yourself and changing that mindset and believing that you can do it for sure.
I
Mhm.
couldn't have said that any because I that's me. I don't have the stigma, but I'm a writer and a reader. I will read just about anything in front of me.
Yep.
Knowledge is power,
Yep.
but then to the mental side, I've gotten stronger in it, and it probably
Mhm.
doesn't help that I'm a Taurus too.
Okay. Oh
So
yeah.
so it's once
Your
it's
birthday's
one.
coming up.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of so look, Taurus season is here, y'all. It's
Yeah.
coming, but it doesn't help because it doesn't help, but it does for me because it's like an impenetrable barrier that I have. That
Hmm.
now in this stage in my life where there's nothing anyone can say or do now
Right.
that makes me feel any different about who I am,
Hmm.
where I'm going, and what I'm doing. I've learned to filter my Taurus temper because
Right.
now I don't run everybody over anymore.
Right.
I've
Right.
learned to, "Hmm, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bother with that one," and
Hmm.
you just move on. But it is very important that you do build some type of habits
Yes.
um to continue because these are a lot of what you talk about solo habits, as
Yeah.
I call them. Because what the hardest part is, and I've said before, is stripping yourself down. Because really, in those habits, what you're doing is you're stripping away the part that. Because I know, and I'm saying this because I went through it. Because there was a time in my life where I looked at myself, I was like, man, oh, you're nasty.
Right.
You
Right.
are
Right. Right.
was but to peel away at that one, the only person that it really hurts and it's not really hurt is you. And it's
Yeah.
like what you said though, once you took that strip away and then you put it in the book and then you get up tomorrow and you read it again, he's like, yeah,
Hmm.
I need to fix that.
Yes. And it's okay. It's
That's the part. Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
That accountability to yourself,
Yeah.
it's okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we have a choice. Everything is a choice.
Choice. Yes.
You have a choice on how you're going to respond. I'm a big person. Your action causes reaction, right? You
Right.
have a choice. We can't control other people, but we can control ourselves. We can
Hmm.
control how we respond. And the same thing goes with our lives, right? You
Yeah.
have a choice. Am I tired of living this way? Am I tired of, I don't know, going to this job that's not making me happy? Yes, we have to pay the bills. Don't got it, right? I
Yeah.
know we gotta pay the bills, gotta pay our mortgage, we got kids. I'm not
Yeah.
telling you to quit your job. It's not
Yeah.
what I'm telling you to do, right? But I am telling you to make a choice on what it is that's going to make you happy, or what's going to give you peace, or if
Mm.
you find that something's going on in your relationships, right? It takes two. It
Yeah.
takes two. I don't care if that person was horrible to you.
Yeah.
Find something that you could maybe
Need
change,
change.
that you can maybe change, that
Yep.
you can maybe tweak, right? It's
Yep.
about being accountable because you're going to grow from it,
Hmm.
right? And again, we got one time to
That's
pass
it.
this
That's it.
test,
That's
right?
it. And
And loving yourself, and to your point where you said, like, you had to go, okay, let me come. I'm an Aries. So, you know, We're strong
Strong
too.
too. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I'm a Cuban, so
Yes. Strong.
I
Yes.
got that Latin blood too,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I had to really, really tame it a little bit over the years as well. But also, I find that people would take me differently than who I am. Oh, she's
Yeah.
aggressive. Oh, she's
Yeah.
oh, you know. And I think that caused me to dim my light a
Yes.
lot
Like.
over the years too,
Yeah.
because I was like, all right, let me chill, let me chill. But then
Yeah.
this is who I am,
And that's
right?
okay.
This is who I am. Okay, I maybe could tame it a little bit differently, but again, I might not have meant it that way. That's the way you took it. And if that's the way you took it, now you gotta check yourself.
That part, is that part, ladies and gentlemen. That's just how it go.
Period.
Period. That's just how that works. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Ain't my problem.
Exactly.
You might check yourself because
Check yourself.
I'm fine.
Yep.
I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Look,
Yep. So true.
I,
Yep.
I love it. I love it. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a pause for the cause. We're gonna take a short commercial break and thank our sponsors for allowing us to be here to
Yeah.
have this great conversation with Olimpia Fernandez, you know, my incredible friend, CEO Robi Rose, and all of that. So look, don't go anywhere. We're gonna take a short pause for the cause. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. See you on the other side.
94 Media House specializes in transformative digital design that elevates your brand to new heights. Whether you need stunning graphic design, impactful branding, or a captivating web presence, our team is here to bring your vision to life. Join the ranks of successful businesses that trust 94 Media House for their digital design needs. Let's make your brand unforgettable. Contact us today.
Experience unforgettable memories with Riddick Entertainment and Events, the premier event planners in Northern Virginia. We specialize in crafting extraordinary weddings and events tailored to your vision. Led by the husband and wife team of Saeed and Michelle Riddick, we ensure your special day is stress-free and memorable. Don't leave your memories to chance. Let Riddick Entertainment help you create lasting moments. Contact us today to start planning your unforgettable event.
Unleash flavor with Tico Rico hot sauce, made from fresh, homegrown peppers for a vibrant taste. Enjoy the perfect blend of heat and zest with our habanero and refreshing Serrano lime sauces. Ideal for tacos, seafood, or salads, Tico Rico enhances any dish. Join the Tico Rico family today and elevate your meals with our award-winning sauces. Visit us online to grab your starter kit and discover the magic of Tico Rico.
All right. All right, dear ladies and gentlemen, we fresh back out the break. You see the smile, you see the lovely, my dear friend Olimpia Fernandez. So I want to transition for a minute, Olimpia,
Yeah.
because you know I want to get into a couple of things. This one, what inspired you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about the inspiration of Robbie Rose, but to go deeper, like you had the vision, the mission, but there has to be challenges also through that inspiration, right? So, you know, what challenges do you see yourself facing or have you faced in growing this cosmetic brand,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from inception? Because like I said, this was a thought,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
so many years ago, but now you're living it.
Yeah.
What challenges are you facing, you know, as you continue to develop and expand your brand?
Yeah. Oh, the challenges is first and foremost, if I could keep it real, right? The challenges is finances.
Mm,
I am a self-funded company. Every single thing from the packaging to the formula to the creative to shipping to every single thing is money out of my pocket.
mm, mm.
The website, I mean, you name it, photo shoots, everything self-funded. Ran right out of my home office. So the biggest challenge is finances because, again, I'm immediate satisfaction, right? I want to have 85 SKUs already, and I gotta build slow, right? And just know like success is a journey, Olympia. You
Yeah.
start immediate stage, calm down, take your
Right.
skates off, you know. So that is a big challenge. But God is good, and people are buying the cosmetics up. They're talking about us. We got a couple of celebrities that are already wearing it. A couple of investor conversations that are happening. So there's some things happening behind the scenes, and we're gonna see. I'm following God's path, right?
Right.
I don't
Right.
know what direction He wants me to go, so I haven't pulled the trigger in any direction because I'm waiting. I'm waiting for God to tell me. I believe He
Oh, that's
shows
right.
up very clear. And I'm waiting for that. So the biggest challenge is finances, only because I want to have so much more right now.
Understood.
The other another big challenge was, working corporate 9 to 5, which wasn't really 9 to 5. I was blessed again to, hold some really key positions in the companies that I worked for. So it didn't start at 9 and it didn't end at 5, right? So you're cushioning that full day. You come home, you're a mother, I take care of my 85-year-old mother as well. My son has sports and clubs and I'm PTA, and so it's kind of like, okay, a whole month went by and I didn't even put up a post, you know what I mean? So that has become a challenge as well. But again, God has shifted some things in my life, so I'm able to pay a lot more attention to my thing, which is Robi Rose. So that has changed a lot in that area. But I would definitely say, holding that 9 to 5, pushing somebody else's dream, and those finances, and being able to build it right in the way that you want to build it. Getting that social media out, getting it out to more people. How do you get the word out? How do because you can't just rely on one thing. You got to do 10, 50, your brand, right? You got to do everything. So when you're juggling 99 balls, it's just trying to fit it in. And that's been the biggest challenge, even sometimes I even think even bigger than finances, right? Because if you could just get it out everywhere and have the time to get it out and go do pop-up shops and this and that, and, the money will come, know?
Agreed.
So I think, yes, it was the time that was one of the biggest challenges for me.
And I think that's all of us as entrepreneurs, the same thing, how do you find the right metrics to be able to get everything out, get it out in a timely manner that you would like it. Give yourself time to be able to be seen, to be at different events, to, to find these advertising partners and do all of these sponsors. So yes, it's a constant challenge, but I for me, and again, this could just because I'm a man, but I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the larger scope of things in the sense of you have to go deeper than just the surface of that and product development, right? So like, how do you approach product development and like the innovation? Because let's just be honest, like cosmetics for women, excuse me, I mean, it's a hell of a market. Like, it's so like how, and because you already talked about one part, the finances, but then there's this whole other beast in product development. So how do you approach that in cosmetics?
In cosmetics, I believe that people always want to be a part of something that's big, right? People always want to be a part of, they want to be a part of something that makes them feel good. And you are correct. There's cosmetics everywhere. And when I created Robi Rose, again, it needed to be more than cosmetics. And yes, I'm selling cosmetics, but I'm building a mission here. So the give back of Robi Rose is what sets us apart and what makes us different. Now, did we invent giving back? Absolutely not. But I also believe that we have something special and we're doing something that others are not doing, right? So the give back is huge. Now, I did a lot of competitive shopping and seeing what was out there and, how can we be different? I will say our Set and Go liquid lipstick that I have on now, I can go to bed and wake up and it's still on my lips.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh wow. I'm seeing it. I'm like,
I could drink my water with lemon and
okay.
Doesn't come off. But the wonderful thing also is that it's not drying at all. As much as it stays on your lips, it has avocado oil, it has grapeseed oil, it has vitamin E in it. So it also doesn't dry out your lips. So you could wear it all day long, take it off, and you don't feel like, oh, I now need to put some Vaseline on my lips. It doesn't dry out your lips. Majority of our products are also vegan. So it not only do we have really good ingredients in them, it's also, like I said, what really sets us apart is the empowerment of women, right? The mission that we are on and the giving back to children and making that difference. So you're not just buying lipstick just to buy lipstick and throw another lipstick in your bag, right? You're buying lipstick that's making you feel good and your heart is also feeling good too.
Right,
you know that, you know what? Some of this money went to a child somewhere, right? And that is what sets us apart. That's what makes us different.
So All right. Oh, I'm saying because I'm saying like there had to be some deep thought. Like I'm a guy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
look. My wife doesn't really wear a lot of makeup, which is fine. I like mine a little more all natural. But when she does,
Yep.
some of the things you said, I hear her complain about. Like,
Okay.
what was it for you? Because I understand you as a makeup artist and all these other things, but
Mhm.
to find an all natural, basically,
Mhm.
lipstick, one that can stay on. I mean, I'm saying like stay on till tomorrow. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, like what really drove you there? Because to me that alone, just to hear that. Look, I'm a guy. I'm a slow guy
Mhm.
here, but that's stands out because that's one of the things that men first notice
Right.
in a woman on a woman
Right.
is man, that lipstick is kind of banging. It accentuates the lips and different things like that. But what was it for you that really drove that? Because I don't know, and I'm just being saying I know it might be slow, but I don't know a lot of other products because my wife complains about it all the time. I get on his teeth and it's on the
Yep.
glass and it comes
Yep.
off.
Yep.
So like, what was the thought and the process just for kind of identifying that?
Yeah. I didn't want to put out junk.
Ah.
I didn't want to put out junk. And like I said, I was a makeup artist, but not only that, I worked for a Fortune 500 makeup company, cosmetic company, one of the biggest in the world.
Mhm.
So I worked where the bar was here.
Yeah.
And I learned so much. And my cosmetics, again, couldn't just be lipstick. It had to be chic. It had to be classy. It had to be timeless, right? It had to be a packaging that women, drew to. It had to be a tube that they wanted to have in their purse. It's for mature women. Um, it's very, very natural in the fact that all the ingredients are natural. They smell good. I did a lot of competitive shopping. I spent a lot of money on makeup. When I tell you, I think I bought every lipstick on the market, not only in CVS, but in Sephora. I bought everything and compared it. I
Mhm.
wore a different lipstick every single day. And the ones I hated, I was like, okay, I knew what I hated about it, why I hated about it. But even before going into it, because I come from makeup, I kind of knew what I liked, so I knew what I was
Right.
looking for, right? Like perfect example, I like red wine. I
Mhm.
know what I like, so I know what I'm going to gravitate to. So I did know the same thing with lipstick, right? And I also was not going to put anything in my brand that I would not wear myself,
Mm. I love.
right?
Okay.
So dealing with a lot of different manufacturers, for example, trying to find a mascara, right?
Mm.
So I am big. I'm a mascara and lip gloss girl. I don't, but funny thing, I'm own my own makeup brand, but I don't wear a huge amount of makeup, right? When I tell you, I must have turned down every mascara from every manufacturer that I went to. And they were like, what are you talking? This is great. This sells amazing. And this. And I was just like, but I don't love it. And I don't want to put
Mm.
anything out there that I would not buy,
I
right?
understand that.
Or I would not wear myself. So competitive shopping, seeing what stayed on my lips, seeing what didn't dry out my lips, what color was truly that. Sometimes you'll open up the lipstick and it's a nice deep red, but you put it
Mhm.
on and it's a little sheer. So to me, I'm
Mhm.
like, that's a little deceiving to the customer, right?
Got you.
Because I want them to what they think that they're buying, they're getting.
They're actually getting, yeah.
They're actually getting. Is
Mhm.
it going to look different on different skin tones? Yes, of course.
Right.
But if it's a red, I want it to show up on your lips red.
Red. Yeah.
So for me, I did my homework, Dame. I did
Wow.
my homework. It was a few years in the making of just doing my homework, right? Of just shopping, competitive shopping, like there was no tomorrow.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm just blown away because I mean I'm looking and I'm listening, I'm learning,
yeah,
but it's really incredible, like the level of detail,
yeah.
and the commitment that you really put in,
Hmm.
stands out, and it rings in my ears the most, and I want to commend you, just from the brands and what I've seen and what we've done to prepare for this conversation.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, sis, and friend or no friend, you really have an up and coming brand, and
Thank
I'm
you.
hoping that you meet that next level and you attain that next level relatively soon. And
Thank you.
time flies, because we're on
Yes.
the backside of this conversation. But I
Yes.
do I do want to ask one other question because I think it's important, and I like to ask this because especially when I have someone on who looks like we do,
Hmm.
persons of color,
Yeah.
to be able to hear us talk
Hmm.
and understand that we can be so much more.
Yeah.
What advice, Olympia, would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur in the beauty industry?
Mm. The biggest thing is, again, is do your homework. Do your homework, see what's out there, see who your competitors are, learn from your competitors,
Mm,
right? Because don't feel as if, there's room for all of us, right? So don't feel as if, oh, you don't hate on somebody. When I look at somebody doing what I want to do, the one thing I always say is, I'm next, right? It puts a battery in my back instead
mm,
of hating, right? Hating is not gonna
right.
get me anywhere because I also look at it as if they can do it, I can do it. They're inspiration to me, right? I want to read their story. So, first and foremost, do your homework, read, educate yourself, find somebody that you look up to, even if you don't know them. It could be,
Yep.
Estee Lauder herself. Find the books, find the
Right.
articles, go on Google, read what they did and how they got there, right? Take from it what you can apply to yourself and
Yeah.
then make it your own, because everything doesn't fit. Every shoe doesn't, it's not supposed to fit you. You have your own
Hmm.
journey, but take from people who were the trailblazers before you, right? Because everything, you don't have to reinvent every single wheel,
Boop.
right?
Whew.
So for me, I say, okay, who has been successful? Who has done what I am doing and what I want to do? And I have gone down rabbit holes reading about them,
Yep.
what they did and how they got there, instead of, being somewhere
Yeah.
hating. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, let me learn from girl. Let me learn
Yep.
from sister, because
Yep.
she's doing something right. She's where I strive to be.
Hmm.
So educate yourself, right? Read, do your homework, and most important for me is pray. Pray and believe in yourself and ask God to show you where he wants you to go, because you, like the old saying, you can make a plan and God laughs.
Yes.
Have your
That's
plan.
playing.
Yeah, have it.
Every-
Have your dream.
That's right.
Ask God to guide your steps,
Mm.
because when he guides your steps, you're going to end up exactly where you're supposed to be, right? Because it's all a journey. Everything and everyone is not meant to stay. And
Ooh, girl, she preaching.
you have to be okay with that, right? And
Hmm.
you have to understand that they were part of the journey, or it could be a job.
Hmm.
It was part of your journey to teach you something. So make sure you don't miss the lesson. So when you get the test, you pass it, right? So that would be my advice.
Listen, I don't know any other way to end this conversation, but that was the best way.
Oh,
And
thanks.
Olympia put a pin in it because this journey is not for everybody.
Right.
And you've got to, do what you can to better yourself. That hate and that negativity is not going to get you anywhere.
It's not.
The blueprints are already out there, ladies and gentlemen. She said it so eloquently. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
You just take bits and pieces, put
Right.
that sprinkle on yours, use it, make your own cake, your own pie.
That's
Yeah.
that. Yep.
So I couldn't have said it any better, Olympia. But before
Yep.
we even go out the door, I got to
Yes.
allow you, because I want to allow our audience, our people to reach out to you. So where can they find you? Website,
Yeah.
social media, whatever it is you want to share. We'll make sure we put it in the show notes. But look, ladies, go out and support this. Hey, fellas, you're looking to get something new, some fly lipstick or whatever
Yes.
for your lady. Yeah, man, this right here. This
Mother's
right
Day
here.
is coming up.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Look, I'm trying to get y'all. I'm trying to get y'all right. Trying to help y'all get right. So
Yeah.
here's your opportunity.
Yep. And the men should join the list too, the mailing list too, because I'm coming out with those nice bombs. So I'm
See,
telling you, it's gonna be something in there. And I'm
see,
coming out with some merch. Y'all gonna have your shirts and your
see.
hoodies, and we're gonna be all Robbie Rose out.
I love it.
Yep, yep. But yeah, my handles are Robbie Rose Cosmetics on Instagram, Robbie Rose Cosmetics on Facebook, Robbie Rose Cosmetics on TikTok. And the website is robbierose.com, ROBIROSE.com.
All right,
That's
well,
it.
we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make sure that we get all of that out there. We'll
Thank
put it
you.
in the show notes. You heard Olympia talk about Mother's Day and all of this great stuff coming up, fellas.
Yeah.
Get your lady something.
Yeah.
Sign up for the list. Go ahead, just support. at the end of the day, we want to support, our own community,
Yes.
so we can all, uplift and feel good about ourselves. And this was a tremendous conversation today with Olimpia Fernandez, my good friend. It's good to see you.
Good to
Like I
see
said,
you.
um, you're part of the family now, so you're always welcome to come back
Thank you.
anytime. New product, new store, whatever it is. Uh, this is part of your home now too, so we'd love to have you come back at any time, and we'll do our best to get you on. Okay? Oh,
Wonderful. I'd love it. I'd love it. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. I truly enjoyed talking with you. Full circle, full
yes.
circle. But thank you for having me and God bless you.
Oh, same to you. Same to you, sis. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode. Two mics up, man. We just rolling along. Season 8. This is season 8. I mean,
Love
time
it.
really. Yeah, I love it. Time
Love
flies.
it.
Season
Look
8.
at God. Look at God.
But yeah, look at God. But what makes it even better? The Lord has allowed us. Now we are streaming on my
Yay.
own TV channel, Infusion TV, part of the Mogul TV Global Network, the
I love
number one network for positive programming. So while it's free, go ahead and download the Mogul
it
TV
for sure.
Global app on your Roku or Amazon Fire TV device.
Okay.
You'll find Infusion TV. You can find me.
I love
All
it.
of my shows. We started our last season with 5. We're coming back with 5 new shows for this year. We're gonna be running 10 shows on Infusion TV,
I love it.
along with local TV. Nothing but positive. You can leave your kids in front of the TV all day long. There's no cursing, no profanity, no
Right.
nudity, no nothing. This
Yep.
is how we doing it in 2025. So make sure you go ahead and you spread the word.
I
Come on and
will.
check. Yeah, please do. And if you feel like you want to follow Two Mics Up, you can follow Two Mics Up. All our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at Two Mics Up. Follow us online at www.twomicsup.com. We are a 4-time award-winning talk show with the
Yes.
realest talk. And as you can see by the day, man, we don't do nothing but with the dopest guests. This is how we get down each and every week. And I'm going to leave you all with 3 things like we do at the end of each and every segment. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.
007.